Welcome back to the latest episode of the Middle-Aged Outlaws podcast, the podcast where two middle-aged, cynical and jaded Scottish wrestling fans try to find any modicum of joy through the greatest form of entertainment in history, professional wrestling. Today we continue through our viewing of Season 2 of Part Wrestling, Part B movie TV show Lucha Underground, as we discuss episodes 21, 22 and 23. Got there, Adam. I got there. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going okay, thanks. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. We're very much on the path. I think we're teetering on the path. We're opening the gate to Ultima Lucha 2.
Yeah.
How have we got here so fast? I think it can only have been about 6 episodes or something we've been discussing this season, but we're here.
Yeah. This was a wee bit shorter, was it, than season 1?
Yeah.
What's
this? Only 26 episodes. And I think we were up in the 40s for
Jesus.
First season.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. They must have, although they scraped the budget together for this, maybe they must have used some of it in Rey Mysterio or something.
Probably, yeah.
Shall we just jump into our remaining 3 episodes before Ultima Lucha?
Yeah, let's go for it. I was thinking, do you think it's a sign? So when I join this, obviously I see your name, because you select a name when you enter. And sometimes when you're really enjoying yourself, I think you go for something a wee bit out there as your name, but you've just gone with your name. I don't know if I'm overthinking it, but have you just had enough?
Of Lucha Underground, there were definitely times during, particularly episode 21, the 6 to Survive, where I thought, I am done now. That's terrible. I'm really enjoying it, and I expect us to go on to do at least season 3. I don't get the impression that you feel quite so similar.
Well, I think we need a break from it that's maybe a wee bit longer than the last break we took from it, because we did a couple other things and then we went back in. Whereas I think I really enjoyed season 1. Season 2, it's had its really good moments. It's had its ups and downs. But yeah, we'll try something different and then we'll revisit season 3 somewhere down the line.
Yeah, I don't think anywhere's in this season's come close to the craziness of something like a all night long episode, for example.
Yeah.
From season 1.
Oh yeah.
And like Graver Consequences was brilliant, but we've already had Grave Consequences.
Yeah.
So all those things were new to us, all these brand new matches, all these new characters, and like this whole storytelling. A new way of storytelling for wrestling, anyway.
Yeah.
So it was to be expected, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so in the last episode, we had, in episode 20, we had a 6-on-6. Did we?
Yeah.
Did we? Yeah, we had a 6-on-6 as the main event.
Yeah.
And whichever 6 won, we're then going to go on to episode 21 to fight it out, and whoever won that would be number 1 contender to Matanza for Ultima Lucha 2.
Yes.
Which is a little bit underwhelming for a build.
It kind of is, yeah. I suppose the problem is he's kind of killed everyone. And then, because we thought him against Meal as the ultimate, monster versus beast, and how's this going to pan out? And then I suppose it felt like it could have gone either way. And then you, as we'll talk through, you divert Mill because he's gone in a different direction, so you're not going to do that again. And it didn't leave them with that much time to build anything. Yeah.
I also think it feels like, I might be wrong, but it feels like to me that a lot of the focus this season has been on Cage and Cage's sort of rise up the ranks from sort of crazy agent of chaos to proper contender and main eventer. I don't know that there's such a thing in this, but and now we've got to, and we can discuss it for episode 23, but now we've got here and it's kind of just been like, all right, is that where that's what he's doing?
it kind of feels like he, after all that momentum, maybe hasn't shifted up really. He's kind of where he was. But yeah, I think did we challenge each other again early in the season, say, who do you think will be champion at the end of the season? I remember thinking Cage, because the way he'd started the season, he was basically destroying Johnny Mundo on a regular basis. So yeah, it's a shame, I think. There can only ever, once you get to this stage, be one top of the card, but then you look and think, should they have either built him to allow him to go in there for Ultima Lucha, or should they have delayed what they did with Mil Muertes and Matanza for that kind of... Yeah, it's tough, because it seems early on in this, like every episode is its own contained thing and matters, and then you go into the build, and I think if you're not somewhere really important in the build, it does become a bit like you're just kind of thrown into something.
Yeah, 100%. I do wonder, and I'm sure there must be something out there somewhere, what it feels like to try and write a series and arcs over a series versus like week to week wrestling TV.
Yeah.
I would imagine that it would be something that writers would or creative would quite enjoy. Because there's an end to get to.
Yeah, because I think we used to look at, WrestleMania would kind of be the end for WWE, and then you'd have your reset on the next night on Raw, and there would usually be something dramatic happen. But I think it's more in the more recent years, from what I follow, become just a continuation. It just, it doesn't necessarily have to culminate at WrestleMania. You can just kick the story on down the road, which I suppose is easier.
Wait to see whatever, what was his name? Emmanuel. That was the Ari Emmanuel. See if he needs to phone The Rock for ticket sales or whatever.
But I suppose it's maybe easier in a way and harder in a way, because the ability to pivot is probably there more when you're doing the WWE style of, this isn't working, we'll just bin it and we'll try something else, like a John Cena heel turn or whatever. But I think if you know the ending in your mind and you're working backwards from that, it's harder to pivot if something's not quite falling the way you would expect it to. Yeah, interesting.
Interesting to try and find something like that. I'm sure it must be something like that. Exists somewhere. Yeah. Okay, let's jump into episode 21 then. 6 to Survive, it's called.
Okay. So we get a bit of a sort of recap at the start with the cops, our favourite undercover cops. A bit of the story about the councilman, and then we get the recap of the Vampiro Pentagon Jr. Storyline, where we're at with that. And we see a little bit of video about the Mil Muertes and King Cuerno situation. And then a recap of where we are with, after the 6 to Survive, the build-up match that the previous week. Chavo Guerrero's supposed to be involved, Pentagon Jr. coming down his wheelchair, getting up out of the chair, and taking Chavo's place after a beatdown. And then we were thinking, we kind of know where things are going. This is Pentagon's moment. This is his redemption. So made sense as soon as he was in that match. I think we both got an idea in our head of what we thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately thinking, just in my notes, I'm going towards this. I assume this match will be the full show, because it just has that feel to it. It's an elimination match. Whoever the last person is, after the 5 have been eliminated, will be the winner and will go on to challenge the champion at Ultima Lucha. So we start off our 6 to Survive. We've talked about these kind of matches before, where it's not always the easiest to follow what's going on. I think they do it structured in some ways at times, where there's like 2 facing off against each other in the ring, and they create a situation where the others, however many are left, are involved with each other on the outside. So it's more a series of moves, but we can talk through it and a series of eliminations. But yeah. We get so our 6 are Ivelisse, Pentagon Jr., Taya, King Cuerno, Phoenix, and Johnny Mundo.
Is Phoenix at this point? Is Phoenix in Trio's title match for Ultima Lucha or not?
I don't think so.
Right.
Does that happen a bit later, I think?
Okay. Yep,
Okay.
right, okay.
Yeah. So, like, looking at the lineup, it kind of feels a bit underwhelming when we've just had Matanza against Mil Muertes, and we've also seen that, what we talked about with, his name's just jumped out of my head, that wrecking machine, the Cage.
Matanza.
No.
Oh, Cage, sorry.
Yeah, Cage. And I kind of look at this group and think, well, I can find a reason for enthusiasm if it's Pentagon. I can probably find it for Johnny Mundo. I was thinking I'm a wee bit done with Phoenix having his, just getting beat down and never actually, getting pinned moments. And I'm thinking, well, it's not going to be King Cuerno because there's only really one way they're going to be going with him. So, yeah. Well, yeah, we get some pretty fast action early on, as you would imagine, in a six person match. We get a moonlight drive by Johnny to try and eliminate Ivelisse, but she's game. She kicks out. Phoenix and Pentagon doing a bit of combination. It's never acknowledged these are brothers, is it?
Never.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah.
But they either work together or they just quite respectfully face off against each other and go for it, don't they?
Yeah. We have a tornado DDT by King Cuerno on Pentagon. Vampiro, this kind of came out of nowhere for me. He started accusing King Cuerno of being too cocky these days, and I wasn't quite sure where he was coming from.
We've not really seen very much of King Cuerno at all this season.
No, I was quite happy that they were just kind of giving him something when we noticed his face as they were marching Mil Muertes out. We have Phoenix and King Cuerno throwing Ivelisse out of the ring onto the group of assembled others onto the floor. Then into a bit of an exchange between King Cuerno and Phoenix. King Cuerno's going to go for his thrill of the hunt. And then Mil Muertes is going to turn up, and he is running to the ring and steers King Cuerno out of his boots.
Absolutely.
Mil Muertes has red eyes. And Katarina is with him at ringside. Mil is going to powerbomb King Cuerno, and Johnny Mundo, ever the opportunist, is going to hit the end of the world on King Cuerno, and that's him going to be eliminated. So
he needed the end of the world.
He's just cover him. It's done. But I think if we had any doubt in our minds about where we were going for Ultima Lucha, we're thinking we're heading towards Mil and King Cuerno. However, this isn't the last episode before Ultima Lucha. We have 5 participants remaining now, and Mil, he was kind of a bit sinisterly circling the ring for a little bit before he actually took off.
I thought, like that sort of behaviour from Mil Muertes. There's another time, it must be in an episode to come, where he beats him up and then just stands at the side of the ring. And I remember thinking, that's quite unlike him. Yeah. It's quite weird.
Yeah.
More used to the sort of pacing and the animalistic type behaviour.
The crowd they're very in on Ivelisse. It seems a long time ago now that she was just being an absolute bitch to poor Son of Havoc every week, but the crowd are very much there for her. And we go through a bit of a sequence where Phoenix is kind of taking it easy on her. He doesn't seem to want to do his full moveset on her, and she is just going at him though. She's not having any of that. I think she's feeling disrespected by that. Pentagon is linked in with Johnny and Taya on the outside, and Ivelisse is going to clear the ring. Taya baits Ivelisse into running towards her. She ducks out the way and she walks into a big right hand by Johnny. Taya and Johnny are destroying poor Ivelisse. She fights a bit back, but she gets a head. Oh, she gets a head kick on Taya, I think, for a 2. She puts up a hell of a fight, but then she gets eliminated by a double stomp by Taya.
Yeah. Taya's great. I've said this before. She's so good in the ring.
Mm-hmm. They're quite good opponents as well, Taya and Ivelisse. It's probably, other outside of the tag environment, it's probably the most interesting opponent I think we've seen for Ivelisse.
Aye, definitely. I've clearly got either excited or just very mixed up, because I refer to a wrestler here who runs up and punts Taya between the legs, which I assume is Penta, but we've got Johnny Mundo and Penta, and my notes refer to Punto.
Okay.
Punto runs up and punts Taya between the legs.
So we're down to our final four, and you're thinking Johnny and Taya, they're going to align. They're probably not going to go after each other, unless it came down to just the two of them left. And then we've got Phoenix and Pentagon, who we've seen work together a little bit earlier in the match. Then we've got Pentagon booting Taya. And he's really putting the boots to her, and then it's mentioned by Matt Striker that Pentagon and Vampiro have locked eyes. I don't think anything comes of it. Just acknowledged. Pentagon gets the upper hand on Johnny, but Taya grabs his leg from the outside, and Johnny hits a spinning kick. Taya with a Northern Lights suplex and a double stomp on Phoenix for a 2. Johnny and Taya try to combine to pin Phoenix, but he kicks out, which really pisses Johnny off.
I was going to say pissed you off.
No. Johnny and Taya are dominating for a period of time, but Phoenix is going to make the comeback, as he would. He hits a double stomp on Johnny on the apron, and we see Pentagon starting to package up Taya for his pile driver, and he hits it, and that is Taya eliminated. So things looked pretty positive for Johnny a couple of minutes ago, but not so much now. He's in the final 3, but he's lost his ally. So I kind of thought these are all from a story point of view. They're all believable winners. We've seen Phoenix in the title picture. It feels like they've been building Pentagon, and Johnny, I feel like, is your ultimate. You can plug him into the main event at any time you want to do
Definitely.
it. Yeah. Johnny briefly tries to get a bit of an alliance going with Phoenix, and then I got a bit annoyed because they all just start chopping each other for absolutely ages.
Yeah.
It went on too long.
There's quite a lot of that. I've done you, so you do me, right? You do him now, and
yeah. Johnny with a running knee gets a 2 count on Phoenix, and then hits a powerbomb for another 2. I've just got Phoenix gives Johnny the finger, and he wins here. Pentagon flies at both Johnny and Phoenix on the outside. They're all selling on the floor as your sort of classic "This is awesome" chant comes up. Was this moment where I looked and thought, is this going to be the only match on the card? Because we've kind of got rid of 3 people quite quickly, but I think we're only about halfway through the actual programme time.
Yeah, me too. This almost felt like this match was in two parts to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it gets down to the 3 of them, I began to really enjoy it, and then when it gets down to the 2 of them, I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more watchable. I think it's just too chaotic when there's multi people in the match. 2 Pentagon and Phoenix are down on the outside. Johnny is going after the shoulder of Phoenix and basically just keeping Pentagon out and on the floor, which is a pretty solid strategy. I was convinced at this point in time that Pentagon didn't kick out in time. Johnny had a cover on Pentagon, and the ref kind of pulled up his cover, but it looked like he did it before Pentagon actually raised the shoulder or kicked out.
He hit a Spanish fly on a standard Spanish fly.
Yeah, and to me, I was thinking, Pentagon's winning, because it probably would have just counted him down if it was a risk of not looking too authentic. We get Phoenix with a double stomp on the back of Johnny's head. And we're going to get the elimination of Johnny Mundo here. Pentagon and Phoenix. I found it hard to describe what had actually happened. It's a kind of a head scissors countered, and Phoenix, I think, was kind of meant to land right on top of Johnny. But it didn't quite flow the way I think it was supposed to flow. But either way, Johnny got pinned, and basically Phoenix and Pentagon were both involved in the manoeuvre that caused it.
Yeah, well said. Johnny Mundo's so, I know it's quite saying the same about Taya, but he's so good. So underrated overall as a wrestler. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
In these 2 seasons, especially, it's crazy to think he never held the title.
Yeah. Do you think that would piss him off, or do you think he's just like, I'm kind of a main guy. It's fine. Or it's hard to know.
I assume not, but it's crazy. He's so good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've liked this Taya wrinkle that's been added.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down to 2, and it's Pentagon and Phoenix, and there's kind of a face-off between them, and I was thinking, is there going to be like a handshake or something like that? There wasn't. It was kind of more an acknowledgement of the other, and then they started going at it. And there was a nasty-looking submission locked in by Pentagon briefly, and they kind of go a bit back and forth with submissions for a little bit.
Striker calls that the House of Pain, but Striker calls that many things just whatever seemed to randomly come in his head that you don't know if it's actually called that or not.
I was watching the interaction between these two and really enjoying it, and then thinking, have we actually really seen these two interact before much on this? And
I wondered that too.
I couldn't really think of us having to, maybe in other multi-person matches, but I don't think they'd had a one-on-one match.
We were introduced to them season 1, like the 3rd episode. It was them 2 and somebody else. Aerostar, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds right. We get a Dragon Sleeper locked in by Phoenix, and they're telling the story here of the injuries that Pentagon has sustained, and how difficult it'll be for him to cope with moves like that being put on him. Phoenix, nice looking corkscrew leap onto Pentagon on the outside. There's something about, see, when everyone's jumping around and flying around, it kind of takes me out of it a bit, but when you've got a one-on-one and it's like 1 or 2 maneuvers, I don't know, it just seems so much more impactful to me.
100%. Totally agree. See when Phoenix does that, I just written in my notes, how are these guys still going at this? This has been about half an hour they've been going, right? And Stryker says they've almost been going an hour. But I remember, and I was thinking to myself, how is that possible? But I remember Vampiro listening to him on Stone Cold podcast, and he said that most of the time the matches that you see go a lot longer than what you're seeing on the telly because they have to cut them down to like 40, whatever it is, 43 minutes or something.
That's interesting.
So he says the fans get much longer matches than what you actually see.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking how kind of, because they're all about between 43 and 45 minutes, I think, every episode, and I did wonder like how hard it might be at times to get your timings right, because obviously one thing goes long, you're cutting it from another thing, but usually they only have about 3 matches on the card, so that makes sense. We get Phoenix is kind of laying sprawled across the corner of the ropes, and Pentagon just starts putting the boots to him. We get a reverse pile driver by Pentagon, and at this point Vampiro's getting a wee bit emotionally invested. He's berating him for not hooking the leg. I think actually across these episodes there's quite a lot of berating people for not hooking legs. It's referenced as something like, I'm sure they credit Johnny Mundo for almost always doing it, but like how some guys are missing out on wins because they won't hook a leg.
Nice. Like that detail.
Yeah. We get Phoenix with a Hurricane Rana off the top for a 2 count. Sling blade, it's a series of sling blade clotheslines by Pentagon. But as he's going for, I think, either a 3rd or a 4th, Phoenix catches him with a big kick.
Some of these kicks looks devastating.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the leg slapping that makes it feel like it.
Possibly, yeah. We have Pentagon with a Mexican destroyer on the outside on Phoenix. Both men are down, but it's confirmed, I think, by the announcers. We have to have a winner. This match isn't going to end with a double count out. Phoenix reverses a package pile driver and sends Pentagon face first into the mat. Pentagon manages to kick out. both are on their knees exchanging what start off as chops, then I think turn to face slaps as they both get back to their feet.
Yeah.
Two brothers just having fun there. We get a running kick. No, Phoenix runs into a kick, and then a Mexican destroyer and a package pile driver by Pentagon gets him the win. And we called it. We called it. We knew. But Pentagon will be going to Ultimo Lucha and will be facing Matanza. Just after the match ends, Matanza and Dario are standing at the top of the steps looking at their future opponent. Pentagon has the mic, tells Dario that at Ultimo Lucha he will break every one of Matanza's bones and also break Dario's for good measure.
Dario's smile at that.
Yeah, he didn't look too worried, didn't look too scared. But Matanza, well, I suppose he always does, kind of just looks pissed off, just looks furious. Yeah.
His eyes bulging.
Yeah. So I think I would agree with you. The latter half of that was really good. I think when it got down to 3 participants and the chaos around it was clear, it was a good matchup between the 3 and then the 2.
Yeah, 100%. I was glad it was a clean win and there was nothing, like not like a setup for Ultima Lucha and somebody come in and beat up Phoenix or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A nice clean win and finishing moves matter.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
And no post-credit sting.
No, nothing. Yeah. I did get the fear, I think, similar to what you were talking about when it was down to just the 2 of them. Are they going to set Phoenix up for something at Ultima Lucha by having someone come out and screw him over? But yeah, thankfully not.
Okay, so Pentagon, Matanza, and he gets opportunity to get his loss back.
Yeah.
As far as I can remember, Matanza pretty much destroyed him.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was pretty brutal. It was, I think, maybe not a squash match in terms of duration, but I think he basically dominated the entire match and beat the hell out of it. Yeah.
Okay, episode 22 was called Fame and Fortune, and we kick off in Dario's office with some random-ass panther-looking motherfucker.
Who the fuck is this guy?
I thought he's sort of purple and black. I was like, it's that Sinestro guy. He's like added to his mask or something. This guy's a straight-up Power Rangers baddie with his panther face.
He looked big. Like, it's hard to tell because he stood in the office on his own, but the way they did it made him look big to me.
Mm-hmm. I did look him up. I can't remember who he was.
Okay.
But a Mexican wrestler that wrestled in AAA. I can't remember. I just thought, he called him Nightclaw.
Yeah, Nightclaw.
Even the name sounds ridiculous. I was like, is that the bad guy for Inspector Gadget?
Oh, wow.
But Dario's such a big Inspector Gadget fan that he just gives him one of his 7 Aztec medallions.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Crazy.
It's interesting to introduce a new guy like that and chuck him in. But fair enough.
It's not unlike Dario to play fast and loose, though. I mean, he's just decided, I like this guy. There you go. There's one for you.
It seemed like Dario had invited him.
Yeah.
The way that he was talking to him.
Putting it across as a bit of a coup to have got him there. And I'm like, who is this guy?
Nah, we're not having him. So it seems that this episode is going to be all about the 7 Aztec medallions and setting up the Gift of the Gods match for Ultima Lucha 2.
Yeah.
So we kick off with Daga taking on Mascarita Sagrada with beautiful Brenda and Famous B in his corner. Melissa does not like Famous B. Almost, I would say he's at the point of like he's up there with Pentagon for her.
Not Marty the Moth though.
No, that's fair. Famous B introduces his client Mascarita Sagrada to the believers, and we also see Cobra Moon sitting on top of Dario's office, offering moral support to Daga, giving
like
him
that.
the fear.
Yeah.
Big Brenda. She's definitely not called Big Brenda. Brenda is screeching on the outside, and Vampiro's starting to get wound up by this. He says, imagine waking up next to that. We pretty much get Daga destroying, which you would. I was like, they're not going to put Masquerita Sagrada in this match, are they?
I kept thinking, Famous B, like, it's been a terrible alliance, but he does keep getting him opportunities. They just always seem like an opportunity he shouldn't have. It's a shame for Masquerita Sagrada. I think this is at least I think he had a medallion match early on, and then he also got the chance to beat Cage for his medallion as well. Obviously, that didn't go very well. So this is a third medallion match, but I just don't think he's a medallion guy.
It's a good point. Like, if you're getting these opportunities, despite the opportunities being beyond you, can you grumble about that?
Maybe Famous B is doing a great job.
Maybe. We get Daga strangely applying a submission, which, as far as I can remember, was a bit like a crippler crossface type thing. And the referee's trying to get to Masquerita to see if he's tapping, and Daga's like dragging him away so he can't see. That was odd.
Yeah, it was a bit cruel.
So Daga wins, and Daga has one of the medallions, and he will enter the Gift of the Gods ladder match at Ultima Lucha 2, which is good news for us because I think we've only seen snippets of this guy.
Yeah, I think there's some in there. I want to see him in like a proper match. So yeah.
Famous B is checking on Masquerita after the match, and Brenda is very upset. And Famous B he's had enough. Clearly, super kicks the head off Masquerita, and then just takes his shoe off and beats him up with his shoe.
Oh, Brenda was in pieces.
Yeah.
She's devastated by this.
And the believers as well, notice they'll look quite shocked by this betrayal. But, I mean, to be fair to Famous B, from his point of view, he's getting him all these unique opportunities and he's not taking advantage.
Yeah, I mean, he is. And then I think he says something like he's going to get himself a new client, and that client will be famous or something like that. So
does he say that?
Yeah. So we're not done with Famous B. I think we're done with Masquerita Sagrada for now.
Who do you think is new? Do you think we won't see that until the next season?
I can't think of. The problem is you can't see them aligning in with anyone who's already taken very seriously. That would be kind of weird. It would have to logically be somebody that he helps up a level. But yeah, there was nobody immediately springing to mind for me.
Well, what sprung to mind for me was Joey Ryan, and I really hope that that's not the case.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're back in Dario's office with the green little gecko bitch, Junior, and Dario offers him the opportunity to take on Black Lotus at Ultima Lucha 2. I was a bit confused with what was going on with the little gecko because he kept hearing what Dario was saying, like an echo in his head, like over and over. But yeah, quite underwhelmed, but I don't really care because I don't want to see this guy in a prominent match anyway. But the fact he's fighting someone on their sort of pay-per-view type event that's never had a match is wildly worrying, given that he probably needs somebody to guide him through a match as well.
Yeah. So they've gone down the route because Dario's obviously told Black Lotus that it was actually El Dragon Azteca that killed her parents. And he's now told El Dragon Azteca that she killed his mentor. So he's just playing Dario games to get this match. But is the match going to be worth it?
I can confirm. Spoiler alert. But I will make a prediction that he does a tornado DDT in the match.
What do you think? No.
Nah.
Nah, can't see it.
Imagine she was absolutely amazing.
It'd be surprising. It'd just be really questioning why they've waited so long to actually put her in a match if that happened.
She was like technically pulling off these like Chris Benoit suplexes and that.
Yeah, I take it you're going to assume that if the match is really good, that it was just her carrying him through the entire thing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Yes, there would be. He's not carrying that. He doesn't look like he could carry somebody's shopping bags. Right. Our next match is Mr. Cisco, Cortez Castro, and Joey Ryan taking on Killshot, Sinestro de la Muerto, and Marty the Moth Martinez. And we are told that whichever trio wins will all be entered into the Gift of the Gods ladder match, and they'll each get an ancient Aztec medallion. We are speedrunning the Gift of the Gods title match.
Oh, yeah.
An interesting team, that. Killshot, Sinestro de la Muerto, who feels very much thrown in to this and like, oh, we need to get him in the match. And Killshot and Mark the Moth obviously had their issues between the two of them. And Mr. Cisco knows that Cortez Castro and Joey Ryan are undercover cops as well. So
I feel like it was almost like there was a bit of story cut off because he was going to, tell Dario that they were robbing him, but they were actually looking for evidence or whatever. Found out they were cops because they arrested him. But did we ever get you're going to have to work with us now? Did we get that? I just completely forgot about it.
Yeah, I think it was the woman detective basically told him he either does this or he does that.
You're right.
Remember they had him in the interview room?
Yeah, because he played this quite well when he does kind of look like his shoulders are slumped, and they're kind of telling the story through the match where I think the announcers are angry that Joey Ryan is telling Mr. Cisco like what to do and stuff like that, and he's just accepting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, poor Mr. Cisco.
Stryker says that, I don't know what to say this. Stryker says that Joey Ryan has been forcing himself down the throats of the believers, but then he says no pun intended. And I don't know what that, well, obviously I know what that means, but
yeah.
Are we talking about no pun intended as in his character as a sleazy bastard, or are we talking no pun intended because he is a sleazy bastard?
I'm hoping it's character. I'm hoping.
Because they do something later in this match where somebody kicks him in the balls and he like Samoan headbutt no sells it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's his bionic penis or something like that.
No.
But that's never been mentioned the whole season.
No.
We're just supposed to know Joey Ryan lore.
Yeah.
So Marty grabs the mic off poor Melissa. He says that he knows that Killshot isn't happy, but he offers him his dog tags back as a sort of olive branch so that they can work together and try and get these medallions as part of this match.
Yeah.
Stryker is talking about Marty Martinez, and he's talking about the sort of beauty of the evolution of a moth.
Yeah.
And Vampiro just cuts him off and goes, bro, he's got mental problems. Like, shut the fuck up.
A wee bit rich of Vampiro to be throwing that out there. But yeah, it is funny in these what feel like genuine moments where Vampiro's just not for Stryker's, over-intellectual nonsense that he's going with. There was also like one person in the crowd that kept shouting, come on Marty, really, really loud. Marty the Moth had a super fan at this match.
I didn't know you were a time traveller. That's impressive. I really found that funny when he said that, because sometimes Vampiro's just like, oh, beautifully put, brother, and all that sort of stuff. Bro, he's got mental problems.
just occasionally, just.
I was quite conflicted during this match because I really think that over the piece. Mr. Cisco deserves some sort of recognition for his talent because he's really quite a good wrestler.
Yeah.
And I would have liked him in a ladder match, but I did not want Joey Ryan in it at all. And like you said, we get that little wrinkle within this match of Mr. Cisco and Cortez Castro being at loggerheads a bit, and Joey Ryan also sort of calling shots and stuff, and the commentator's not really knowing what's going on. We've got the dynamic Killshot and Marty are actually working really well together. They end up doing a bunch of like double team moves. I don't think the Skeletor guy really gets in the match very much at all.
No, I think you're right.
And it's the conflict between Cortez Castro, Mr. Cisco, and Joey Ryan that ends up finishing this match. They're all arguing amongst themselves. Mr. Cisco turns around and walks straight into Marty hitting one of his stomps. Killshot hits his crazy looking kick, and that's what wins the match for them. So Marty Martinez, Killshot, and Sinestro de la Muerte are also in the Gift of the Gods match. Marty then, of course, takes off with the dog tags because. Yep. But I'm quite happy with that. I think so. Yeah, Killshot. I mean, I don't really care about Sinestro de la Muerte. But Marty's such a good wrestler in the ring.
He is, yeah.
Especially for the size of him, some of the things he does impressive.
Brings something a wee bit different. He's big. He will leap as well, but he's kind of big in a different way to your Mil Muertes and your Matanza and Cage. There's something just different about it.
He's like long.
Yeah. But yeah, it's still slightly problematic, but it's fine.
Definitely. Like I would rather Marty's problematic over whatever it was that Stryker said about Joey Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay, our next match is again it's a tag match, but it's going to be the winners will take the Aztec medallion. So we've got the unlikely team of Sexy Star and the Mariposa, who hate each other and who have quite the history, and Ivelisse and Taya, who have developed their own rivalry as the weeks have went on.
Yeah.
I thought I was confused with this match because Mariposa. Remember Sexy Star and Mariposa? Sexy Star and Mariposa had that No Mas match. That's a really good match from what I remember. But she didn't even look like she could wrestle in this match.
Yeah. I did wonder if it was actually the same person.
I suppose it's
possible that they might have had to make a switch. But yeah, I don't know. It was a different style of match, I suppose, the other one. But there was something like almost out of sync with her. Yeah. And
both Ivelisse and Taya seem like they're able to work with pretty much anyone.
Yeah.
Although I would say that from what we've seen, Ivelisse and Taya work a lot better with men than they have with anybody else.
That's probably fair, yeah.
I won't go into this match. I don't think too much. What do we get? I like that double knees in the corner thing Taya does. Andrade does that too. I think that looks so effective.
Yeah.
We get, eventually towards the end, we get Taya hitting Ivelisse with a spear inadvertently. What do we get? We get Mariposa throwing Sexy Star on top of Ivelisse, and they get the win. I think Taya and Ivelisse would probably be better in that Gift of the Gods match, but they've got their own match, so you could argue that probably works out well enough.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like Sexy Star, we were talking about Cage earlier, she's tailed off this season. I feel like there's real momentum behind her. Between half and 3/4 of the way through the season, and now nothing really.
I did wonder. See, when you look at the lineup that's going to be in the Gift of the Gods match, you've got Sexy Star, Mariposa, Daga, Killshot, Marty the Moth, the Muerte fella, and the new thing that was in Dario's office. I wouldn't be shocked from that lineup if Sexy Star won the Gift of the Gods.
Yeah, me too. Out of all them, who Marty, I would be quite interesting to see win, but like it doesn't seem like he has a character reason to win, if you know what I mean.
And I felt like a few weeks into the season they were kind of given a bit more to Killshot, but then it's almost like he's faded back into the sort of supporting cast role. So, yeah, she's probably had the most, across what we've seen so far, had the most shine on her. So, wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, good call. Okay, we're told as the main event of this episode that it's going to be Prince Puma addressing the Believers. And although we've seen him mutter a few things backstage and on top of the building, he's never actually spoke in the ring with a microphone or anything like that until now. So the gist of this is that I take it you knew what he was going to say before he said it, yeah? As
soon as it was announced that he was going to come out and and I think they actually said, make a statement about what he wants at Ultima Lucha, I thought, this is only going one way.
I was trying not to be critical, right? I thought this was a pretty good promo. If it wasn't for the fact that he did sound like he might start crying a little bit. Is that way when he was making a nervous phone call?
Yeah.
I think what the stuff he was saying, like about I could end up being better than Rey Mysterio and all that sort of stuff, I liked. And it gave a bit of edge to his character. But he just only sounded maybe like 75% convincing sort of thing.
Yeah. I would agree. The content is good because it's not like he's having to go heel or anything like that, because Rey Mysterio is not going to be a heel, clearly. But to want to prove that you can be that guy, and to want to go up against your best, even if it was your idol or whatever, that makes sense in a competitive environment. So yeah, I thought it was. I had a bit of the fear because even in his, Ricochet days, I can't really think of having heard him cut a promo. I believe he's a bit more. He's a heel now, isn't he? In AEW,
yeah, he's a little shit in AEW. He's quite entertaining.
Yeah, and I've heard, he's gone pretty strong on his social media and stuff like that, trying to get that presence going. But I could not think of having heard him cut a promo before.
The only thing I could ever tell you that he's ever spoke on the mic was that segment where he says there's a bunch of them in the ring, and he says to Drew McIntyre, I came here to fight, not to speak. And Drew just goes, shut up then. And it just completely shut him down, and he looked like he'd been smacked in the mouth.
Oh, shit.
So Rey Mysterio comes out after being sort of called out. And I like what Rey said as well. He said he's the pioneer. He paved the way for people like Puma. He reminds him that whilst he is a prince, I remain El Rey, and El Rey means the king. And Rey accepts for Ultima Lucha.
The only issue I've got with all this, because I'm, that's quite an appealing match to look forward to, but I think Pentagon just got WrestleMania 8'd. I think his big title match is not going to be in the main match slot.
Do you not? Over this?
Yeah, I think they'll go Puma and Rey.
Oh, man. I hope no. Didn't even consider that. Oh, man. Well, we'll see. We will see.
We will see.
That'd be interesting. That'd be a shame. Okay.
I think I could see them being like, this is our biggest match. This is,
Do you think Rey Mysterio
against. I think from the point of view of trying to get the eyeballs Rey Mysterio brings to your product, I think if I was a booker, I'd probably book it like that, even though I'm saying you shouldn't.
I think I've been a little bit underwhelmed by Mysterio. I don't know what I'm expecting. Like he's going to... He's going to be cutting promos like The Rock in 2000 or anything. I think
probably the frustration I've had is that he's not just been a single star Rey Mysterio. He's been within that tag group, and now this is probably the most interesting thing he's had in terms of matchups. He's going to be going up against Prince Puma. But I just imagine if you're Lucha Underground, your target demographic, and you've got Rey Mysterio on your big card, I would think you put him in the prime slot. But we'll see.
Okay. No post-credit sting, and we're at episode 23, The Phoenix, the Dragon, and the Spaceman.
Yeah, I was... I think when you told me the title of this, did you say something about, well, these guys are going to end up in some lofty tag team situation? I thought, all right, okay. And it didn't really leap out to me as that's going to be incredibly exciting. So
it doesn't feel like this is the episode to finish off before
no.
Ultima Lucha.
No, and I suppose it ends up being a little bit of a sort of funny episode title in terms of what's actually going on. But
yeah.
We get a recap of a lot of the big stories going on. Dario has announced the trios titles will be on the line. Drago, Phoenix, and Aerostar will be the challengers. But tonight we're going to have like a warm-up match type situation where Johnny is going to go up against Phoenix. I think they're kind of playing it out as the first one-on-one between these two.
Mm-hmm.
Prince Puma will face El Dragon Azteca Jr. and King Cuerno will go up against Mil Muertes.
Those are banger matches, but 2 out of 3 are banger matches.
And we're going to go to that, King Cuerno against Mil Muertes, right now.
Were you surprised that this was... that they were doing this, or did you think it was going to be like a short thing to set up?
Yeah, I was just fully expecting these two will face off against each other at Ultima Lucha, and then you hear this match announced. But I suppose we'll get there. It's all going to come together. It'll be okay. So we've had the situation where way back King Cuerno was Gift of the Gods champion and basically had like an agreement with Katarina that he wouldn't challenge Mil Muertes while Mil was champion and had his broken arm. And he...
Oh God, that feels like a long time ago when he was sitting up on the throne and watching the matches and that.
Yeah. And then King Cuerno ended up losing his Gift of the Gods and was quite bitter about the fact that he never really got to cash in, become champion and all that, and any sort of relationship between him, Mil Muertes and Katarina broke down. At that point, we've then had King Cuerno taking away the trophy that was Mil Muertes after Mil Muertes lost to Matanza and having him mounted on his wall in a glass case and all that. He came back, he destroyed him at the 6-person match. So brings us to here. And I've right from the start in the match, Mil is absolutely battering King Cuerno, and I'm a bit worried that he's bitten off more than he can chew here. We've got a big choke slam by Mil for a 2. King Cuerno, he's surviving, he's coming a wee bit back into it, gets the arrow from the depths of hell, but in the execution of that, Mil Muertes basically falls into the referee who's just behind him. And that's the ref down and out. King Cuerno has a chair. He's going to take advantage of the ref being down. Hits Mil with the chair. Mil's just staring at him.
Takes it right in the head.
He did.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Mil knocks the fuck out of him with a right hand. Mil now has the chair, sets it up in the corner. King Cuerno's in front of the chair. Mil is going to run up for what looks like a spear. King Cuerno moves out the way. Mil hits the chair. King Cuerno rolls up Mil Muertes. Referee's just coming to back in the ring. Counts to 3. King Cuerno's using the ropes. He's using every bit of advantage he can get, but he gets the win. And I've put right at the end of this, that can't be it. So these two are definitely going to end up going again. But yeah, a bit of a surprise. I think we always quite liked King Cuerno, but I probably wouldn't have backed him to beat Mil Muertes in a one-on-one match.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think of the Reaper's Trident as a name for a spear?
I quite like the name. Yeah,
it's unbelievable. I love it.
Yeah, Yeah, there's so many people do the spear. You want there to be something, have its own,
Mil Muertes is up there for spear.
Yeah, he looks like he properly goes through the person rather than the sort of, you see some do it and it's like a hit and a stop type thing. Probably not the easiest move to take, but I'm sure it's fine.
Christian would take it beautifully. Imagine Christian taking a Mil Muertes spear, or Dolph Ziggler for that matter.
It's one of the few things I miss from modern wrestling, Christian, because I feel like he's there, but I'm not watching him. It's a shame. We're going to go to Dario's office, and we have Taya and Ivelisse, like in sort of like evening dresses. Yeah. So Dario is offering them a drink. I think Taya maybe rejects, but Ivelisse is taking a whiskey. And Dario's saying it's clear there can only be one baddest bitch in the building. So he wants them to have a match at Lucha Underground, at Ultima Lucha. That's I think both of them are fine with that. Quite enthusiastic.
It's all quite like, yes, that's a great idea. Let's all just do that together.
Yeah, nothing really got out of hand. It was weird. The whole segment was kind of weird. As they are leaving Dario's office, we have Katarina coming in, and she has a little bit of a face-off with Ivelisse. We've been through various bits and pieces of history with the two of them, but Katarina is there to demand a rematch for Mil Muertes with King Cuerno, and Dario's basically laughing her off. He's having absolutely none of this. It's like, we've seen this match, and he talks about how he didn't like her, and she was running the temple, his temple, for a while. He didn't like that either, one bit. But then she manages to just basically say what turned out to be the magic words. She wants it to be a death match, and Dario is like, you've basically that was it. That was the golden phrase. Dario was all in.
He says, "I hate you, but you always manage to say the thing that I want to hear," or something like that.
Yeah. So we are going to have, Dario confirms we will have the Mil Muertes against King Cuerno death match at Ultima Lucha.
Ideal.
We are going to go to a match between Prince Puma and El Dragon Azteca. So Rey Mysterio is going to be out with El Dragon Azteca. Obviously, we know Prince Puma has now had his challenge accepted by Rey for Ultima Lucha. There's something a bit different, I think, going on with the look of El Dragon Azteca here. Don't know if that grabbed you, changed your opinion. Yeah.
Oh, I don't even think I noticed.
Nah, I probably refused to look at the screen when he was doing this. I think the outfit he was wearing as he was going towards the ring was just a bit more. There was something more to it.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Just, I'm not saying he went full Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but I think it was more.
Don't mention Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and that little bitch in the same sentence.
I apologise. I'm sorry, Ricky. That was disrespectful.
I imagine he comes out carrying a crocodile at Ultima Luchador, so I'll maybe throw him a laptop.
The Dragon keeps he's like doing some really like agitated finger wagging towards Puma. I didn't really get what he was going for there.
Yeah, cocky little bastard. Yeah, he really is.
Yes. I don't think I carry quite the same hatred. I'm going to call it hatred, but he is annoying. He's definitely annoying.
Yeah, it gives off like that little entitled brother energy.
Yeah, and he's not talented enough to be doing that. I get it. I totally get it. We get there's kind of a handshake, but then Puma doesn't let go, and it's getting a wee bit aggressive. And we get a dragon suicide dive by Puma, but Puma catches him because he weighs about 3 stone and throws him into the post, and he's kind of keeping his eyes on Rey Mysterio while he's doing a lot of the maneuvers, Prince Puma. And he also, there's an aggressiveness about him, and the commentators talk about it. He's basically beating the fuck out of the little guy, and he's doing it all for Rey Mysterio's benefit.
Sorry, I just wanted to say, especially start of this match, like later on, Yeah, he's beating the fuck out of him. But earlier on this match, maybe the first 5, I don't know how long it goes for, so like 5-8 minutes of this match, it's all very choreography, gymnastic-y.
It was, yeah.
And I don't think I have an issue. Like, I have a little bit of an issue with that, and I think you have a bigger issue with that.
Yeah.
And I don't think any of Puma's matches have been like that these whole seasons.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I've thought, I really don't like this whole like sweep, and he jumps and we're up and we're down. Like I think I've said this before, like every match that Puma's had that we've seen has been like so entertaining. And he's been fighting bigger guys.
Yeah.
And then this is maybe the first time where he's had the chance to have a match like this. It really put me off. And I know I was negative because of who it was with, but it bothered me a little bit.
Did you enjoy the big DDT by El Dragon Azteca?
No.
I kind of it came across after a little bit of back and forward that Puma's kind of had enough of this now, and then a couple of Northern Lights suplexes. He's about to go for the 630, but Azteca is up on his feet. Azteca with a move off the turnbuckle. I didn't really quite know how to describe it.
To be fair to him, that was quite a cool move, and I've got my nose a bit like a reverse Mexican destroyer.
That's a good description. Yeah. Belly to belly into the turnbuckle, and then a jumping axe kick by Prince Puma. Very much felt like we were heading towards the end here, but then he hits the Michinoku driver for a 2. And I thought that was maybe going to be the end, but he then hits the 630 and takes the win, and Ray's just kind of at ringside shaking his head. I don't know who he expected to win the match, but yeah, Ray goes into the ring to check on his boy, and Prince Puma tells him, today it's El Dragon Azteca, but Ultima Lucha, it's you.
I liked the way he did it. Very aggressive the way he did that. Very confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was a touch of the old Triple H and Booker T's for WrestleMania 19 after he did his 630. So I stood about for a while checking his watch and had a wee cup of coffee and then covered him. I thought we were getting him kicking out of it.
Oh, how angry would you have been if you did? Whole podcast would have been cancelled. We have Dario requesting that these specific 4 luchadors be in the ring with him. He has a microphone. It's going to be Tayano, Cage, the Mac, and Son of Havoc. They are going to be entered into the first ever Unique Opportunity Tournament. He's calling it For a Unique Opportunity. He seems incredibly pleased with himself for coming up with that name, does Dario. He says this will be the greatest unique opportunity that's ever been given.
That sounds very Trump. Nobody's saying it bigger. It's the biggest, the best. He just needed the hands.
He encourages the 4 to get a jump start on their opponents right now, and after a bit of a brawl, it's Cage that's left standing in the ring. A possible unique opportunity for Cage. Who knows?
This felt like I was watching like Whose Line Is It Anyway, and people were just coming up with stuff. Because Dario was like looking at the crowd, like a bit like he was laughing and a bit like he was questioning what was even coming out of his mouth.
Fantastic. It does feel a bit like we just have to throw something together, won't we? We'll come up with something. Oh, we better put Cage in. He's kind of a big deal. It's nothing for him to do. The crowd loves Son of Havoc. Put him in there.
Tejano was sort of looking at Dario like, okay, like get on with it. Like, what is it you're going to tell us?
Did he say, he didn't say anything about what the opportunity would actually give them, did he?
No, and that's what I was going to ask you. Does that mean? What do you think that means? Because I think I've got an idea what it means.
Okay, I mean, I was trying to put it together in my head. So we know that we've got our match set for the Gift of the Gods title, and none of these are in the Gift of the Gods matchup. And I did wonder, is it a title opportunity? Is it an opportunity against the Gift of the Gods title holder? I wasn't sure.
Okay. I wondered if I wondered maybe chuck them into the main event, make it a 3-way.
Oh, Never thought of that. That'd be, potentially interesting.
Depends. It must be. Should it be Cage? Who's the fourth?
If they were doing that, it would have to be
Son
Cage,
of Havoc.
I like Son of Havoc, but he's not there. He's not chucking him in the title match. Okay. We are going to go to the main event for the episode, Phoenix against Johnny Mundo. First ever one-on-one match between the two of them. Vampiro says he taught Johnny how to wear a headband. We are reminded about the situation where Phoenix had been part of a team that were supposed to be challenging for the trios tag team titles, and then the next thing we saw him laying on the locker room floor and Johnny basically taking his place. So there's maybe a little bit of heat because we're fairly sure Johnny and Taya were behind that, but never really went anywhere. We are. There's a lot of talk about how much Johnny will be irked by the fact that Phoenix has had the Lucha Underground world title and he never has. We go into the matchup between the two. I thought this was okay. I tend to enjoy most Johnny Mundo matches. I think we get quite a bit of shenanigans from the outside with Taya playing a role. So just distractions or strikes from the outside when nobody's looking, that kind of sort of classic heel type thing. We get a big spine buster by Johnny for a 2. Phoenix gets something going when he manages to get a bit of separation, executes a dive onto Johnny and Taya. He hits a sunset flip powerbomb. His momentum gets stopped by what comes across as a little bit of a vicious at times Johnny, but I don't mind that. Johnny executes a nice flying forearm, and it gets mentioned to us a few minutes before anything happens to do with it, but Taya has placed the trio's title belt on the ring apron. She's just put it there. Phoenix with a standing Spanish fly, but while he probably would have had a chance at the pin, Taya has the referee fully distracted. Johnny is going to use the distraction to knock Phoenix down and seemingly out with the title belt. And something that was noticeable to me through all this, Matt Striker was incredibly angry. And it almost came across like he was angry about the way the match was booked.
The booking, aye.
Yeah.
He says, aye, at one point he's like, yeah, all right, okay, yeah, so, yeah, they get the win. Like, it's very sort of condescending almost about it.
I'd never heard him say anything like that before. Mm-hmm. Initially, it was like, oh, he's angry because it's a cheap finish, because Johnny's going to get the win after using a title belt strike. But it started to sound like more than that. Like, he says something like, what a way to head into Ultimo Lucha after, a finish like that or something.
That's like JR. See sometimes on the AW pay-per-views they have JR coming to commentate like main event or whatever. Mm-hmm. I can't remember which match it was, and I wish I could remember, but JR commentating Swerve Strickland versus somebody, and it's getting progressively more and more violent. I want to say it was that match against Daniel Bryan, but I think we would have discussed it if it was. So it must be. It was Swervey someday. Like I say, it's getting more and more violent. At one point, JR just shouts, "Make it make sense!" And like Excalibur's like, "Well, it does make sense, JR. This is like I don't know, like a high tempo atmosphere and all that sort of stuff, a high intense atmosphere." And it kind of felt a bit like that.
JR's wanting it to be treated as a sporting event. It was getting too far away from him.
People getting plastic bags put over their head.
I mean, when you say it like that, it does sound like it was a wee bit over the top. After Johnny gets the cheap win, Johnny's partners, PJ and excuse me, PJ Black and Jack Evans are going to come out to join in the celebration. We got some more air guitar, but I don't think they had the noise, which made it a wee bit
much better. We can put up with that.
They are they're all they're quadruple teaming Pure Phoenix, but Drago and Aerostar are going to come down to help. There's still a bit of a numerical advantage, but we're going to have Ivelisse as well.
Thank God Stryker told us about the numerical advantage loudly and multiple times.
It's an all-out brawl. The sort of babyface team, if you like, get the upper hand, which includes Ivelisse getting a pop when she throws Taya out of the ring. So I think we're pointing towards the trios match going to be with obviously Phoenix, Drago, and Aerostar, but seemingly maybe Ivelisse on the outside to counteract Taya, I would assume.
Oh,
so, yeah,
never thought of that. Nice.
And they'll have their one-on-one match with each other as well. So yeah, that was us. That was the end of the final episode before we head into the 3/4 episodes of Ultimate Lucha.
Nice. A strange go home, if that's what you would call it.
Yeah.
I don't remember from last year if Ultima Lucha had any sort of story cuts, or if it was just straight up match. I can't remember. So we might get more buildy type stuff through.
I've got it in my head. It was kind of match last time, but we'll see what happens this time.
Cool, excellent. So we pretty much talked through it anyway, but we've got that trios match.
Yeah.
Between Johnny Jack Black and Phoenix, Aerostar, and Drago.
Yeah.
We've got our main event of Matanza versus Penta, or potentially Puma versus Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Black Lotus versus El Dragon Azteca Jr.
Yeah.
Taya versus Ivelisse. We've got For a Unique Opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say is that all we've got?
The Gift of the Gods match as well. I think that's maybe it.
And the open-ended question of what is happening with the end of days, Dario Cueto, the guy with the cigar.
Yeah.
Whatever is going to happen, like the undercover policeman.
We need a few of these things at least resolved, or at least we don't need them resolved as in, a final sequence of them. But we need to know who the players are. Surely, we need to know who this is. This powerful individual.
Suge Knight looking.
Need to maybe see them make an appearance.
Yep. And the end of days thing moved on potentially.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I hope we get a Pentagon title win.
Mm-hmm. It feels like it would be earned, like where we've come from and where he's got to. They've told the story for him to earn it. I suppose the decision is: do you beat the monster now? It's your big show. It's your season finale. I think it is the right time, but we'll see.
It's barely shown any sort of weakness. Someone did. Cage did, didn't he?
Cage did some damage, and he had that two heavy hitting matches with Neil. But like when he was in multi-person matches, it's basically just like swatting people away. He was absolutely destroying everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. Looking forward to the 3-parter.
Yeah. It should be good. Yeah. And we'll embrace it as it's our last Lucha for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. I'm going to try and look at it as a pay-per-view and watch it all together.
Okay.
And see whether that's doable or not. Maybe too many dives over the top rope. But
I might do 2 and 2. We'll see.
And a death match between... I didn't mention that, Mil Muertes and King Cuerno.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
As
Yeah,
well.
I forgot to mention that one. That's a biggie. That, I kind of, in terms of outcome, I could only really see them going one way, but it feels like a big match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it would suck to see Mil Muertes go like further down than where he is. I think that top spot is earned for him, despite Matanza being there.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
he's wormed his way into my heart as Mil Muertes.
Nice. Not to mention Katarina.
Well, added bonus.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope they curtain jerk with Lotus versus a little bitch, and then they can maybe give them 5 minutes, like a dark match or something.
That's all I would need, you would think, and then you just move on.
What if he's? Should we make like wild predictions about what might happen? Like if his mentor comes back from the dead or something.
Oh, that never even crossed my mind. How about Black Lotus is literally murdering him, and then her parents, it pans to them and they're in the crowd, they're like, we were on a cruise.
Amazing. It's just like, I like that. If I could try and describe the look on your face as them just being like, what are you doing? What is our beautiful daughter doing? I wonder if there's more members of the Cueto family as well.
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah.
He mentioned his mother being a horror, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, although, did they say Matanza killed her? I think Matanza killed her. I think.
I'm sure of his own volition.
Yeah, there could be others.
I feel like Daddy would have like some sort of maniacal sister or something.
I wonder, like, do you think it's possible we get like 2 title switches? Do you think could it be? I suppose you've got the Gift of the Gods, so somebody's going to win that. You've also got that 4-person match that we don't know what's going to happen off the back of that. For the Gift of the Gods, you're supposed to give a warning, but if that's on night 1 or night 2 or something like that, could somebody say either I challenge, or as soon as they win, or I put myself in the match, or something like that?
Yeah. Oh no. But the people that are in that, though...
I'm not sure. I don't think I want it. I think I'd rather Matanza and Pentagon was a one-on-one, and if they were doing something additional for that to happen after the match.
Some of the best WrestleManias I've had... 2 of the best WrestleManias have had double title matches on their cards. Do you know which WrestleManias they are?
I think you're maybe clinging to WrestleMania 9 again. I think
and
WrestleMania 10 had 2 title matches.
And
what else had 2 title matches? So we're talking the same title being on the line twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't think what it was.
I can't remember what WrestleMania is. The WrestleMania that was in lockdown, Drew McIntyre randomly fought the Big Show after winning the title in the main event.
That's right, yeah. So would that have been like 37 or something like that?
36 it was.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, 36. Night 2.
I kind of remember that all with a bit of sadness, because it felt like Drew deserved his moment, and he's just in the training centre. And
remember he had his hand like right at the camera saying thank you and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Poor Drew.
Yeah, and then poor Big Show.
Well, I don't know, like, if they got paid for a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, true. Good point, yeah. I do always remember your fondness for WrestleMania 9, even though, a Bret Hart fan should absolutely despise the end of that.
Yeah, it's just like the love of Toga versus the hatred of Hogan. It's a hard one. Oh well, I suppose we'll see, won't we?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, looking forward to it. I'm glad we've got here. I'm kind of needing the switch up, but we will like you say, we'll go in and enjoy it
Yeah.
for our last hurrah for a while.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you knew if Rey Mysterio would be in season 3.
I have absolutely no idea. Not sure.
Because it kind of feels like, I assumed he was here for this season sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I would have thought beforehand. Don't know if there'll be an telling in that about how his match goes with Prince Puma.
Maybe. Okay, we shall see. We'll watch over the next couple of weeks and be back on our usual Monday after that.
Yeah, excellent.
Cool. Right, well, you take it easy and you enjoy it, and I can't wait to talk about Nightclaw and winning the Gift of the Gods title, cashing it in.
What if he ends up being amazing? Like, we've seen him and we've thought, nah, but what if he's incredible?
Well, I'll look him up whilst we're here. Because I did actually recognise for fuck's sake, Nightclaw's apparently of course it is, like a Marvel character or something. Sounds like one.
I thought, as soon as you said, oh, for fuck's sake, I thought he's just seen Nightclaw won his first Lucha Underground world title at Lucha Underground Ultimate Lucha 2.
No, I didn't see that. Flamita, his name is most known as Flamita, which I think I'm aware of. Well, I wrestled AAA over the course of roundabout when we are, so.
Right, okay. Oh, well. I'm maybe unfairly writing him off and assuming Sexy Star will win that match, but we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Right. We shall reconvene.
Cool.
And then see where we go after that. You take it easy.
You too.
Cheers.